person in the city. Came from a wealthy Creole family and served as Secretary General Counsel, the Director of the Louisiana State Bank. The Raines mansion again took damage in the Great Fire of 1794, and Raines built the house back up again a year later. A man named Victor Valentine opened a cafe on the first floor of Raines' mansion, which became an iconic New Orleans cafe. According to noble guests like Tennessee Williams, Victor's Cafe remained open until 1962. A new tenant occupied the building, which had become known as the Stage Door, a popular bar at the time. But in 2004, the building has been renovated, and the Charters House Cafe moved in. The Charters House Cafe opened in 2004 in the building known as the Raines Mansion. They were a huge success, serving classic Creole and Cajun dishes like jambalaya, blackened shrimp, and oysters supreme. But a few years later, they realized that they were quickly expanding and were going to need more space. They decided to move across the intersection at 540 Charter Street, known as the Galley House. The Galley House provided the Charters House Cafe with the kitchen and dining space they needed to fully thrive as a restaurant. Today, the Charters House Cafe is touted as one of the best restaurants in New Orleans. Locals say that the specialty in the crawfish, they serve the crawfish cakes, crawfish pasta, crawfish tails, and a spanking etouffee. They also serve beers and fantastic Bloody Marys. The Charters House Cafe occupies a building, or better yet, an intersection with a lot of history. The corner of Charters and Toulouse are stained with blood and the memories of souls who made New Orleans. While many go for the shrimp and crawfish, paranormal enthusiasts show up for the ghost. The most famous spirit of the Charters House is that of a strange figure dressed in 1970s clothing. Nobody seems to know who exactly the man is. According to some stories, he's the ghost of a man who committed suicide in the Raines Mansion in the 1970s, when it was being used as an apartment building. He's been seen standing at the windows of the Raines house, or at the intersection of Charters and Toulouse, giving passerbys blank stares and generally giving people the creeps. Others who have entered the rear building of the Charters House have reported some especially creepy phenomena. The so-called former servants' quarters were actually used to house slaves and their children in quarantine during the yellow fever epidemic. The children of the slaves still live on the building. Many report seeing their tiny hands of the children reach out and touch them, often clinging onto their clothing. Passerby who dare reach to the barred windows have felt the children grab onto their hands, which has put the fear of God into quite a few tourists. Some who have reported the sounds of people crying and sobbing emanating from the servants' quarters. The ghost of Johanna Darling is also said to haunt the Charters House. Miss Daring was said to have died of unknown causes. Some newspapers reported her dead at 24, and others at 66 years of age. Those who have seen the ghost report recall seeing a lady standing at the second floor window of the Charters House, indicating that she may have died at 24, although